feel like years have been taken off of my life going through that investigation period. Actual years. Oh, we're just at the trial now? Okay. What? Maya escaped? Hello? Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there's someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, all right? Can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. Well, you're in a scandal, idiot. That's already been ruined. Well, it's almost time. Mia, we must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now, or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Well, let's get going. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney, the day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired. Don't worry, people can't die that easily. Or don't die, rather. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial, which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it, and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer Dude, who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Okay. Von Karma isn't here? Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. Von Karma is dead. I win by default. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I killed her. I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor, please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has. This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. Let's go! What? Shot? Deserved. Shot just like her daddy. Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. I would have absolutely slam dunked her, though, just like I did in that awful Big Top one. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she all right? I don't have that answer. She's alive and in stable condition. Dang. Dang. Can we get the gunman to try again? That's good. Whew. I thought he'd show up. Oh, hey, Edgeworth. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Dude, it actually would have been so much cooler if Edgeworth had shown up right now instead of during the investigation period. Gumshoe should have been the one to show us all of the info that Edgeworth showed us, and then Edgeworth should have shown up right now, and it would have been shocking, and then Phoenix would have been like, Edgeworth, you're back. What are you doing? What's going on? What's happening? Etc. That would have been so much better. So much better. The prosecution is ready, naturally. The prosecution is standing at the witnesses stand, Your Honor. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. That's right where her dad was shot. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt on guard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand, my boy. Gumshoe, you're the only character worth anything in this franchise, brother. Witness, your name and occupation. My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now. For now? After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe. Prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Now let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for? Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Edgeworth is definitely, he watched Naruto. He absolutely watched Naruto while he was gone. He watched Naruto, he read the manga, he probably played all the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. It's so Naruto coded, my dudes. Finding an answer. You who have no answer, give up! You should give up on me, giving up! This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Awards ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Really? After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir. I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Here we go. I so hope that the third game has you heal in between days. Being at half health at the start of the trial because of the stupid way the psych lock was set up in the investigation, in my opinion, I think it was kind of dumb, is really frustrating. I really don't like it. Would you please give us a brief timeline of what happened after the ceremony? Okay, pal, the ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m., and then there was a short break. Special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during that 30-minute break period. Please continue with your testimony, detective. Found dead in his hotel room. Person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct? Yeah. Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about? She's the defendant, Matt Ungard's manager. Sorry, wait a minute, I'm getting a text message from a family member. Do I need to respond to this? I probably should really quickly. Just a second. All right, sorry about that. Sorry, I needed to respond to that really quickly. Something from my grandparents. She's the defendant Matt Ungard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir. Ah, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she'll grace us with her presence. She might also be a murderer. When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Ungard. After visiting his room, she next went to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir. I see, and that's when she found the victim's body. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered. The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest? I'm still calling sus on where his stab wound is, by the way. Like, you would probably die from being stabbed there, but it would make way more sense to stab them in the heart, wouldn't it? What if Corrida is still alive? What if Corrida is the one who did it? What if, man? It's just what if? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana. Oh wait, I said bandana. It was banana, my bad. Banana. His bandana. No, it was bandana. The judge got me. His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck. Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Then what about the knife? Seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after this. Why did they bring up the bandana? I didn't even notice he was wearing a bandana. We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed. Oh, wait, he was strangled by... Oh, so he was strangled to death. That makes more sense than where he was stabbed. Run me through that again real quick. I didn't fully internalize that. Stabbed in the chest. Only a careless amateur would believe something as brainless as that. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. A real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana. Okay, so he was choked out by the bandana. Okay. First, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. We couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime. Ah, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that? We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims. Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then. Empty, there's some water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Caritta's fingerprints. How is this water gonna come into play, bro? However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case? The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night. Well then, where was it? Bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Caritta, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case? Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar. That guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel. Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. Nah, the case being empty is gonna be relevant somehow, I'm sure. I believe that's enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then after the victim was killed, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt on guard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter. Yes, sir. Why arrest on guard? Matt on guard and Juan Caritta were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jammin' Ninja's button. It was ripped off of the ninja costume and was found in Mr. On Guard's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime. The defendant bought the knife? Which makes this a premeditated murder? He bought the knife? He bought a... Why should... His room service should have provided him with a knife for his meal, shouldn't it have? So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing. Sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clear, sir. There's the victim's blood and on guard's fingerprints in the grip. Gatewater is engraved. And there's this button that was found in the defendant's clothes, was it? And this button also covered in blood? Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir. What? It was ripped from his costume, is covered in Caritta's blood, found in On Guard's Hakama. All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right? Ha! I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like, just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Why arrest on guard? Hold it! But in terms of popularity, Mr. On Guard won, did he not? Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Caritta was always one step behind Mr. On Guard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Caritta lost the Grand Prix in the end. That's too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Hold it! Wait just 1 second here. Mr. On Guard was beating Mr. Caritta in the popularity polls? Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective, it's not, well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive. Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired. No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I look forward to your pension negotiations. Why is everyone hating on my boy? No! I'll hire you, Gumshoe. Now, Detective, let's continue with the testimony. Not my poor pension, too. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed. Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir. What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? This game sucks. They're mean to Gumshoe. Do you have any proof that button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off of the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell just by looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward. Mr. Edgeworth, help me. All right, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously, and that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match. Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita, how do you say his name? Juan? Then we did a search on them all, that's when we found the button. So it was almost immediately after the murder. Police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? Defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh? What do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Ah, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that. I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then? Defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder? What do you mean, bought? There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal, this isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Ah, well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yeah? Something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. Button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with unguard's fingerprints. Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing. We're still in a world of trouble. Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix? All right, let's save the game real quick. Unless this is a one-day trial, I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this game today, unfortunately. There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. It's not good. Proof it was premeditated. Something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late. A button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with unguard's fingerprints. I do not know. So Mia is wanting me to focus on this. I don't know what evidence I could have. In the grip, Gatewater is engraved. What does that mean? Would it be one of these? I don't know. Can I, they say that he bought this knife, but he didn't, right? This is just a knife that the hotel gave him? Like, it even has Gatewater engraved on it. How could you buy that? I don't think it would be any of these things. This is about Celeste dying. This is about Adrian trying to kill herself. Does the autopsy report the knife? There's no way that he bought this knife, bro. There's no way. Oh, the music stopped. I'm a genius. Let's go. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. This feels like a tutorial case gotcha. Like how does the police department make such an obvious mistake and look at this knife and be like, yeah, he bought this knife and brought it from like a store? What are you talking about? Huh? It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle. Gatewater? Think I heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. This is like baby's first objection. What? The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that's very true. This is a very big What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? No. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There's no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this. But I didn't know. Oh. Why are they so mean to Gumshoe? Dude, I hate this game. The question is, where did this knife come from? Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corritta's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I'd like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard. Especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps is it a single knife? We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Matt Unguard's knife was missing. Mr. Unguard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Am I stupid? This was like the most... Why did we even have to sit through this part of... They could have cut this part out. Did we really need to go through this? Seems like Edgeworth had this plan from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There's quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet, in other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Oh, well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. I think I need to save real quick. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? I mean, I gotta show something, right? I don't know what I'm gonna show, to be honest with you, but we gotta show something. There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention, something that this court is yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance and only one. What the judge is saying, Wright, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? I don't know, bro! The kidnapper transceiver. The killer. Okay, it's something that we have not shown to the court, so it's not the autopsy, the knife, or the ninja button, because we just showed all of those. Does it want me to show, like, the suicide stuff? And, like, link it to Adrian? It can't be the one of her trying to kill herself. If it would be one, it would be the one about Celeste dying. Is it something in the picture, actually? Maybe? Oh, there is that, don't I have the wine glass itself as evidence? Found next to the victim, filled with tomato juice, no sign it's been drank. Yeah, they made a big deal when we were investigating about how that was still right side up and, like, hadn't been affected, but all the other stuff had been knocked down. That's, like, that's really sus. It kind of shows that there probably wasn't much of a struggle, and actually it was faked. So, like, wine glass, the suicide report about Celeste. We already showed the guitar case, so it can't be the guitar case. This magazine article would have nothing to do with it. Lotta's camera would have nothing to do with it. I don't think any of this other stuff. Okay, so something that we haven't shown that could be important to the case. The 2 suicide reports. We've already shown this picture as well, so it's not the picture. The 2 suicide reports and then the wine glass. I feel like the suicide reports are gonna be too far of a leap. So maybe it does want me to show the wine glass to be like, why is this wine glass here? Isn't that weird? It kind of seems like it was set up somehow. I saved right before this, and I'm pretty fed up with this game today, so I'm just going to say wine glass, and then if it's actually the suicide report, we'll do the suicide report after. I actually think the suicide report is more likely, but I'm pretty sure when we were doing Big Top, I always went with my gut instinct and was wrong, and then when I went for my second instinct, I was right, so I'm going straight for my second instinct this time, instead of going for my first instinct. The music stopped. I'm a genius. This is a wine glass, is it not? Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Ah, well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it, Your Honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. It was no, there's no way. There's no way. It was filled with tomato juice. There's no way she walked in there with a wine glass of tomato juice, saw a dead body, and then put it down on the dresser. There's no shot. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? There's no way, bro. There's no way! If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Ruh-roh. You're not thinking hard enough today, Mr. Wright. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then, of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? But there's wine. There's tomato juice in it. Why didn't she put tomato juice in it? That's why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Ah, I can't believe I fell into another trap. I mean, I still think he's full of baloney. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Carita. She was carrying a wine glass full of tomato juice. And when she went into the room and saw a dead body, instead of dropping the wine glass, she set it down on the dresser. I don't believe this. I'll take things that didn't happen for 500. This is like the bust all over again. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. There's no way you would see a dead body and then carefully place it. What are you talking about? There were multiple other places for her to set it at before getting to the dresser. Now do you see, Wright? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. Grr. I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution is yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Not old bag, not old bag, not old bag. Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Edgeworth thinking? He's throwing a case again? Is she allowed to wear that headpiece in court? Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Heh. Gotcha. Grr. There's a lot of grrring in this game. Wonder what happened to that calm and composure he had earlier. Oh, edgy boy, it's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet, it was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand. Okay, that one's pretty good. That's pretty good. I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Even things that don't have to do with that terrible crime. No, I only want to hear about the crime, though, is the thing. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Kill me. Kill me, please. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam. No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with? The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dear Ewan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle. You mean you were a fan of the victim? Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Corrida. All right, well, Ron Corrida is dead, so. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. Leave it to me, Edgeworth. Here we go. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Ungard. Matt Ungard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. So Mr. Ungard came out from the victim's room. See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. Here we go again. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Can I point out that all she did was see a dude in a suit again? It's the exact same baloney from last time. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show, but I refused to help, I'll have you know. It was for that lead-headed samurai show. You got fired, right? I even took out a few of the nails. She should be put in prison? Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on. Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me, so I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little. And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door. There's something I was interested in finding out, you know? Hold it. Something you were interested in, and just what was that? It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know? It's top secret between me and Juan. Ah, and Edgeworth, of course. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. Looks like we shouldn't force it right now. And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Corrida's room? I have no idea. I wasn't born, so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am. Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct? LaPetra, thank you for summoning a tier 1 for 17 months. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for the support. Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was? Yes, he was. I'm too scared, I can't say his name out loud. What I wouldn't give to have Franziska's whip right about now. Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was Ungard, man Ungard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. You saw my client. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yes. Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person? Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further words? Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail. What a troublesome man you are, really, as if that's something that matters. But it does. Now what was it? Ah, yes, it was that thing. What thing? That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket. I thought that he was in the outfit. I was wearing that at the detention center, too. That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men, am I right? Am I right, chat? Men. Right. So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? Do I have proof that he was wearing the samurai outfit during the murder? Because he told me that he was wearing the samurai outfit. But I don't know if I actually have a piece of evidence that says that. Is the problem? Was ripped from his costume. If he killed him, but he was wearing the racing jacket, then why was this on his costume? Yep, I got it. It was very important, Your Honor. Of course it was important, Your Honor. Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but all right, witness, please. Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must. He was wearing his flashy racing jacket. Honestly, it's all just for show. I should probably press this before I do the evidence. Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket? What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it. She is so sure of herself that it's to the point of self-absorption. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? That's what makes her a sweet old lady. Sweet? That's because you're not the one who asked to question her. Sweet. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I just showed the button. Objection! I got a music stop. I'm a genius. Miss Oldbag. What? Don't say my name for no reason. Do you know what this is? It's button number 2 on the Gem and Ninja's costume. Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance. It's covered in blood. Give it here, give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this. Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. This button was discovered on Mr. Ungard's body during a full body search. See, this button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal Ungard. It was caught up in the pleats of his Nickel Samurai Hakama pants. See, and Ungard is the Nickel Samurai. Witness. Now, it may just be me. I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt Ungard, was wearing his usual racing jacket? I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you done yet? Documentary on curling. Hold your tongue still there for 1 second. So what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Ungard, the man, but Mr. Ungard, the Nickel Samurai. But when you think about it, they're really one and the same anyway. Here we go again. They did so bad at the writing in the second game that they literally plagiarized the first game. It's the same thing. Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about. Edgeworth, do you think so too? Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify. All right, if you insist. I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw. Your Honor, she's got a gun? Take her down. On guard, on guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know? He must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. Your Honor, this person is literally a liar. Can we just, like... I'm tired of all of these self-admitted liars who perjure themselves on the stand being allowed to give more testimony. They should be thrown out of court. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume. What? Did you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Literally, yes! Don't be a bad boy thinking such rude things. But the possibility does exist. Youngins, today I told you there is no way it was anyone else. How do you know that? Because I said so, and what I say is the truth. Your Honor, I move that she be executed. She should be shot to death. At least she's just as delightful as a witness as she was a year ago. But I don't want her to, like, be shot in the head and die. I want to shoot her, like, in both legs and, like, let her bleed out, to be honest. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Here we go.
Hold it!
Hold it. Would you please get on with your testimony? Ha! Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? Youthfulness isn't what it used to be. You should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? Striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai. She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you do something about this racket? Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and just stick to the facts. Okay, you promise, right? Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date. Oh my goodness, they remembered how to tell good jokes. Man, I can't remember the last time have I like legitimately laughed in the second game yet? Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Oh man, that was actually really funny. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not. I was gonna say jocket. Not too long ago, then let me ask you this. When you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream? To become the Hokage, obviously. What did you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper? My dream, huh? Well, I wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public's court. So what? Why are you saying this? See? And look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you? Well, what I said earlier, who puts any weight into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past. Your Honor, legitimately, truly, can we just kill her? Please. When did court become theatrics over testimonies? All that matters is that man was inside the costume. Isn't that enough? Judge Wagner? That was a trophy? Press Oldbag's claim that it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. What a weird... Why is this a silver... Hello? Okay.
Hold it!
Why would that be? That way, no one can see his face, of course. But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more. You're such an annoying child, you know? You disagree with everything I say. It's literally my job. Isn't that what you're always doing to me? I got it. Maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume. Had to go to that post-ceremony stage right after the crime, you know. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing. That included the Jammin' Ninja. Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought. I see. Well, anyway. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. I have no idea where I'm supposed to find a contradiction here. Let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai? As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? You don't need to think too hard on this one. I don't. There's a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. Oh, no. My question is what that contradiction means for us. Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. There's an obvious contradiction in this? Really? On guard, yes, now I remember. Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. It would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. Had to go to that post-ceremony stage show right after the crime. Must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan. Huh. An obvious contradiction, you say? Let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai. Showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? Don't need to think too hard on this one. There's a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. Am I stupid? I feel like all of the contradictions before this were obvious. What is obvious on this one? It has to be something about him wearing the costume because that's all this is about, right? On guard, I remember it was the Nickel Samurai I saw. It would have been convenient for him to wear the costume. He had to go to that post-ceremony stage show after the crime. He must have worn the costume when he was stabbing Juan. What evidence do I have that fits this, like, at all? Huh. Jam and Midnight Rendezvous, a superstar in an ultra-hot mega-secret love scandal. Reliable sources say that Juan Corrida has been getting in close with the mysterious yet beautiful manager to the stars, Miss A.A. What would any of these have to do with his outfit? I'm at a loss. Be a little more careful with your testimony. Not so long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket. Not too long ago. Yeah. This is the trophy. I don't think the trophy would have been. I think the trophy is just a joke one. So I don't think that this actually leads to anything. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show? Contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly greeting, including the jamming ninja. Of course it included him. That's why On Guard came out of Juan's room. I didn't give it a second thought. Anyway, yada yada. I'm a little at a loss here. Let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it was the Nickel Samurai. As showy as ever, haven't I been saying that from the very beginning? Can I throw in the towel yet? Don't need to think too hard. There's a contradiction in her testimony. It's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us. I have to have some kind of evidence that relates to him wearing this outfit. But I don't know what it is. I'm kind of at a loss on this one. I don't see how the suicide reports would do anything here. Is it like, does the outfit make it hard for him to like be able to strangle the dude? I mean, the right arm looks really finicky. How do you even wear this costume? Look at the shoulder piece. How do you put your arm through that? Is the right arm actually connected? Or like, do you have your right arm in that right arm? Or is that connected differently somehow? Is it controlled remotely? Like without his actual arm through it? I mean, it can't be the ninja button because, like, this is proof that he was wearing the costume. Is it the knife? It can't be the fingerprint thing because he would have, like, just been eating with the knife beforehand, which means his fingerprints would still be on it. Because I was thinking, like, if he's wearing the costume has gloves. So, like, how are his fingerprints on it? But surely he wouldn't have been wearing the costume while he was eating. So his fingerprints would have been on it anyway. But Edgeworth said that the fingerprints were all over it. The fingerprints would have only been in the shape that you hold a knife in if he only did it while he was eating. If he was wearing the costume after, how would maybe it is the knife. Although the knife's description doesn't say the whole all-over thing with Edgeworth. Although this could still be maybe this is one that I'm supposed to present and then Edgeworth is supposed to debunk it and it leads to something else, maybe? I don't really have any other ideas is the main problem. Come to America to defeat me in court, and she got shot in the shoulder. I don't know that I could present any of them. The only thing I can think of is the knife. It's the knife, or maybe it is the autopsy report, and it's like, how could he be in the costume and also strangle with a scarf? That takes so much work. I'm gonna go with the knife first. The music stopped. Okay, good. I was not confident in that at all. Take a look at this. Yeah, so it's a knife, big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work. No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to the case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at? That's exactly what I'm driving at. We should play golf this weekend, Edgeworth. What are we driving at? Whose car are we driving? If Mr. On Guard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Ah, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. Why would he do that? And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that. However, there is one possibility. Then let's hear your possibility. It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just gonna relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. But they hate each other, which is why he took his gloves off. But the murder still did take place. It's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. You've just contradicted yourself, Edgeworth. Why would he go and chat with him in his room if they hate each other? Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? Let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with his theory? Yes. Why would he carry a knife into the room? No, there's no way. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony. What are you babbling about? Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. It's just the knife again, right? Like, why would he carry the knife in there if he was planning to, like, murder him? Right? I think. It's gotta be, because we went over that earlier. I'm a genius. This knife, it was used by Mr. Unguard at dinner. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Carita. I suppose. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent of murder. If that were true, why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Get bodied, Edgeworth. Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing, magic must defeat magic. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive. Bees on a hive. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Can we get Old Bag off the stand? Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To frame him, obviously. It's to frame my client, Mr. Unguard, of course. To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one? But we just established the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. If that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Ah! Witness! Looks like I've made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgeworth? Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai? Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but you saying you mixed up Mr. Unguard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV? I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai? All right, then. Who were you waiting around for? Huh, that's top secret to anyone outside of security. I have a feeling you were waiting for Mr. Juan Carita. Am I correct, witness? Haha. The way you think, you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness. Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of? Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room, but it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Carita. Maybe, Phoenix, maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person. If it's who I think Mia's hinting at, it's certainly possible. Who is Mia hinting at? Miss Old Bag, you were waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? It wasn't Unguard and it wasn't Carita. She wasn't waiting for either of these two to come out of his room. The only other person who would be in that room is Adrian. Why would Old Bag be waiting for Adrian? It could also be Lotta? Because she didn't want Lotta to, like, write an article, right? Didn't during investigation? I don't remember. That was so long ago. That investigation was so long, I barely remember it, dude. The only people who could have been in that room that Old Bag was waiting on, because she said it was Unguard and Carita, or two possibilities. She said she wasn't waiting for them. If she was waiting for someone to come out of the room, it couldn't have been Lotta. Because how would Lotta have gotten in the room? It wouldn't be WP, it wouldn't be... so it's gotta be Adrian. It's the dead lady! It's gotta be Adrian. I'm so smart. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Unguard's manager. Why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? Seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Yes, I see, indubitably. Judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well. Ha, looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine, I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then. Witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling. I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation, in secret of course. But what for? Just for myself, personal reasons and all that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let the point slide. I see. Very well then, witness, please testify about the secret information. Get ready, this is gonna take the wind out of you youngins. Why is she allowed to have that in court? I'm sure we're all capable of handling this, really. It's not like we're 10 years old. To her, we're probably like 4 because, you know, she's 8,000. That on guard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. Oh, right, she did say that she thought that Ungard had told Adrian to do this. I do remember that now, okay. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? You're an idiot, you just admitted it to a court. This is public record, you moron. The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying, the truth is never pleasant? Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is, in fact, baseless gossip. But should this be true, then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. This means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful, old bag seems rather excited right now. That's right, Ungard is nothing but your average full-blooded youth. Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. What? Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. They just make up terms and say that they're sayings in this game, I swear. I don't think I've saved in a while. I'm gonna save before something goes wrong. You can't say something like that without proof. That's just slander. I don't even know what she said. I didn't read the thing I holded it on. But it's true, that woman was getting intimate with poor Juan. Look, it says so right here, doesn't it? Manager to the stars, Miss AA. Well, the name of the magazine this came from is Gossip Land. What? Are you saying the gossip is all just a pack of lies? A lot of the time, yeah. What do you know? I suppose next you'll swear to me that the news is 100% truth? No, definitely not. Honestly, Sonny, you can't discriminate between the news and gossip. I agree. I don't trust either. I do not trust either of them. They're both a load of garbage. Yes, discrimination is bad, Miss Wright. This is still in the early 2000s where, like, journalistic integrity still existed, at least somewhat, and people thought that the news at least sometime reported the truth. Discriminate? When did I do anything like that? Anyway, Ungard will never get me to say touche. What was it Oh, you just called Ungard evil, okay. Thought it could ruin poor Juan by causing a scandal. Scandal? What do you mean by that? You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days? No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. I know that much. Well, that Ungard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity. To do that, he sent his manager to get in close with Juan. You don't have any proof that Mr. Ungard did any such thing. You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth, and now, since you're so much in shock, you can't do anything, right? You're right, I can't do anything, but boy, do I wish I could do something about you. I wish I could kill this character. All right, then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that Ungard didn't bear any ill will towards Juan? Oh, can I? How would I even, like... Could I? It would be in profiles, right? Can I show, like, him winning the thing? Like, he won the thing, so why would he have ill will if he won the thing? I don't know that I can prove this. What would I show? Let's finish pushing everything and then we'll come back to this. I don't have anything to offer. See, just as I thought, and you were lecturing me about saying things without proof. You just give me a free pass to say whatever I want whenever I want, silly boy. Me and my big mouth. That's the way the cookie crumbles for you anyway. That doesn't make sense, but whatever. This game really makes sense. Do you have evidence that he hated him? Do you have evidence that he didn't hate him? Well, I guess we're at an impasse. So what do you mean by I took action? Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room. I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Capture her? Your Honor, I would like to move that this witness attempted kidnapping and should be imprisoned? Something you youngins need. You're gonna teach her a good lesson? I was gonna make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun? Like this? No, stop. It's too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night. Oh, this is top secret, you got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? Wait, what? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over. Secret info that no one else knows yet? If that's true, how do you know this secret information? Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yeah, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole into my brain, you'll never find out. How in the world did that old bat get such a secret piece of information? Press further. If you don't be a good girl and tell me where you got this secret info, you won't get to go home today. Edgeworth, what are you doing? Help me. Nah, what do I have to do with this? Just do this for me, you'll get your reward. I don't want your reward, but you don't leave me much of a choice. The witness could have gotten her info from anywhere. It's even possible that it was spontaneously made up inside the witness's head. And he lectures me on reckless blabbering. As long as we don't know where this info came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. Where did Old Bag get her inside info? Has to be something I can use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it? But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way. I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now. There has to be something we can catch her on. Yeah, and when I find it, I'm gonna press the heck out of it. So wait, do I have to figure out how she... Well, she figured it out from Lotta, right? Because wasn't Lotta, like, didn't she say that stupid photographer or something? Or am I making up a memory? Like, she got it from Lotta, I thought. Press again. If I just show Lotta here, will that work? How do you know the secret information? Yada yada. How did she get such a secret piece of info? She got it from Lotta. If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Oldbag? Why are you looking at me like that? Stop it. Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? Wait. Did she steal the camera? Did she steal the camera from Lotta and then Lotta, like, had scribbled down? I think she stole the camera. That makes a lot more sense than just presenting Lotta in general. Because I still don't know who took this camera. And Old Bag definitely steals stuff.
Take that!
I'm so smart. I wonder if I had, chat, if I had just presented Lotta instead of her camera, would it still have worked? The investigative photographer, Lotta Hart. Oh yeah, I remember that mischievous girl. Yeah, I remember that scumbag is what you meant to say. She reported she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous, impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews. What? Outrageous ideas, you say? Oh, the music that plays when I'm hopefully finding the solution to this case. No, I said impressions. Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless? Ah, that's it, the note. No, you see, this is something completely different. This is my top secret list of groceries to buy. Then you're the one who took Miss Hart's note. I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. That infamous puffy-haired whippersnapper, she's working with that evil Ungard. She said so herself. Ungard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgeworth, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am. It's only one little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before. I think you took the camera. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook just this once. You can overlook that? She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? No! If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct? The note was in her $1,600 camera. Stole? Why don't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all. You're lying, and I can prove it. Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again? You have no credibility, you idiot. Miss Oldbag, I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Okay, I think I was actually supposed to show Lotta before and then the camera. Miss Oldbag, that note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweet $1,600 camera disappeared on me. Why? Why? Witness! What is it, Gramps? If you have the note, then it is only logical you have the camera, too. Grr. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? All right, Your Honor, this is a thief. Arrest her. That's... What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? Still eat meals like you, I fall in love and borrow things from people? What are you talking about? I think your definition of borrow is a little off. I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire. Well, when I saw that, I had to know what sort of pictures she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things. Your Honor, I move that she be arrested. Bailiff, check this camera's photos, hurry. We must examine them at once. All right. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There is only one photo that seems to be relevant to the case, thank goodness. Please present it to the court. Oh, it's the, samurai. Here we go again. This is the Nickel Samurai. See, I told you, that's the guy I saw. This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. Okay. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ungard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is the defendant. Unless there's another Nickel Samurai outfit. What then? How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? I don't think I could reasonably agree to that. I'm gonna save real quick before I do something wrong. If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. Can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's... I mean, I literally have to say that there's something wrong with it, don't I? Otherwise, I die. Let me look more clearly at it. What is weird about this picture? There doesn't appear to be any blood on the samurai after he just, like, committed a murder, so... like, you know, that's something. I don't see anything else weird here. Can't see his right arm. That's all the flowers and the little teddy bear and all in front of Juan's room. Does it not match the... Wait a minute, I need to look at the other picture. Maybe it doesn't match the other Nickel Samurai picture? I wish I could look at these side by side. His pants have, like, the waves and the mountain. He's got the long ponytail. He's got the little chest piece. He's got the metal arm. He doesn't have his, like, spear with him, but I wouldn't expect him to have brought it. That matches. Can't really see the right arm. He's got the waves and the mountain on the pants. It's It's got the one long ponytail. Is that like an M on his forehead? Is he been hit by Bobbity with Majin magic? No, it's still got that mark there. I mean, I have to say there's something wrong with it, right? Because he said if there's nothing wrong with it, then, like, it's over. There's something strange with this photo. I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk the photo, even with the bunker buster. Whether he also plays, worms? Debunk with the bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct? Oh, great. Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. Can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. This is a weird angle. Is it like... Is it like the images? Or not the images, is it like the presents, like the flowers and all? That probably wouldn't matter. I need to prove that this isn't the samurai, or that it isn't him. It's not his outfit, or it's not him in the outfit. Is it the fact that I can't see the right arm? Edgeworth is just gonna say, wait, do those gears match? Do those gears match? Oh, I can't check the original. Great. I have no idea. I don't see anything strange about this picture. And I can't, like, cross-reference it. I'm gonna guess on the arm. It's this person here, of course. You mean the Nickel Samurai? What's wrong with that? At the time of the murder, Mr. Ungard was in his own room, which means this Nickel Samurai... If you think that's all it takes, you should reconsider your choice of occupation. Ugh. I think it's about time you retired. Alright, so I was wrong. Looks like there was no problem with the photo after all. Problem was the brain of that lawyer, Your Honor. Wait, you're the one who let your last chance fly away from you, right? Okay, whatever. Shut up. By the way, I was at half health, but like, he said that you get one chance no matter what, so even if you're at full health, if you don't immediately get that right, you just lose? That's garbage. Why even have a health bar? Okay, let me, what is wrong here? Is it that teddy bear in the corner? It just, yeah, he does have the gears on the right shoulder. It just looks the exact same. Is it the waves? Or the waves on his pant leg, not the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Is it not 5 of them? It's kind of blocked by the amount of like waves or whatever is blocked by his thing. Is it something else? Is it not the samurai that I'm supposed to click on? I have to say there's something strange with it. Surely. I don't have evidence to be able to look back at the... It's shot at a Dutch angle. That's pretty strange. I really hate that I can't look back at the picture. While looking at this. I just have no idea. Man, I'm hungry. What is it, chat? Just tell me. These last two Ace Attorney streams have not been good for my opinion of Ace Attorney at all. Feet? The length of the pants?
Take that!
I like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? If you can see this person's ankles, that would be one thing, however you can't. And what does that mean? Oh, is he, like, is the bottom of the pants not, like, bunched up here? That's a little... I feel like I wouldn't mind that as much if it weren't for the fact that you die if you get it wrong once. I think that's a little much to expect, like, oh yeah, they'll definitely nail this one first try. Especially when you get into the picture and you can't compare them anymore. I mean, like, the game is definitely done worse, but that's a little stupid. What does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. Unguard. What's the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is. Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Also, by the way, the Nickel Samurai is, like, bending in this, so that kind of, like he's bent at the knees, so that kind of, like, makes it a weird comparison in the first place. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. His socks, you can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I turned things around for myself this time. That's curious. Huh, what is? Edgeworth is unusually calm today. Well, I'm pretty sure Edgeworth wants us to win, so... That's true. He really shouldn't be a prosecutor. He's just letting the trial run itself as if he's only along for the ride. Along for the ride? What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all? I wonder if Von Karma is going to take over on the second day. Assuming we have a second trial day. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? If the person in this photo is not mad on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this. What? Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you've proven that the person inside this costume is not mad on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of? It's gotta be what's-her-face, right? Who's the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume? Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think? Yeah, why is he so calm? I'm pretty sure he's just on our side. Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who's the person in this photograph? It's the only person it could be. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it's none other than this woman. And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her? You literally pointed me to her. Well, for starters, she's short. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Unguard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Unguard that night. How does that all add up? It means it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Unguard's fingerprints all over it. A knife that was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right? I have to do this now. It's my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Corrida. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Why is Old Bag still here? Order, order, order! It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth, yes, Your Honor. This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing your testimony. All right, this is it. This is kind of bad for us. Huh? What do you mean? If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day. One more day? Ah! She'll be fine. You can go like 3 days without water. If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Oh wait, is there only just this one day of trial, really? I definitely thought we were gonna have a second day. Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. Am I supposed to object to this? She'll be fine. I guess I have to raise an objection because why else would Mia say anything? Now then. Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today. I can't do that. We cannot hear Miss Andrew. Hold it. I abhor wasting such valuable time. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request you please continue with today's trial. But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. What do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on. What? What? What on earth is this case, bro? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby. She's the next witness. Everything was planned out in advance by that man? I guess. I don't like this. Maybe I'm just, like, jaded because I didn't like the investigation period for this case, and I also really didn't like Turnabout Big Top. I don't like this, this angle they're taking where Edgeworth is just some, like, mastermind pulling the strings on this entire event somehow. I think it's kind of stupid. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over. Exactly. Okay, so I guess we are getting it all done in one day. Interesting. Very well, we will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. All right, is this a to-be-continued spot? Okay, good. I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm not loving this case. I'm not loving it. I'm not having a good time, to be honest. Not really enjoying it all that much. But, you know, I'm committed to finishing it and playing the third game. I'm committed to playing the third game because a lot of people I've spoken to who say they aren't big fans of the second game either. My friends Egg and Doc, who I don't think I've ever really mentioned on stream. They're two dudes I play Anime Villainous with. They've mentioned that they don't think, or at least Doc said, and he's really into Ace Attorney, that he didn't really like the second game, but he thinks the third game is like the best. And I'm pretty sure my other Annaville friends, Lark and Falk, has said something similar about the second game not being that great, but the third game being really good. So we're gonna get through this case and we're gonna play the third game, so you don't have to worry about that. Third game is gonna have to really blow me out of the water to get me to want to play more Ace Attorney in the future, though, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is gonna be all for today. For those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. We might be close to the end, but I've only got about 30 minutes left, and I don't think we're gonna be able to get through this trial in 30 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap up here. But yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to catch streams live, link to my Twitch channel in the description. I'd love to see you there, or keep watching on YouTube. I appreciate your support either way. Words. Until next time, farewell.